See you. All right. Welcome back, you guys. Let's go ahead and talk about the importance of cash flow. All right. Cash flow is extremely important if you want to seek out financial freedom. Why? Because cash flow is your money. Cash flow is what you have coming in and how you're able to utilize it to create more. All right. So cash flow, positive cash flow means money that you're being made. Negative cash flow is the money that is being lost. So your positive cash flow is all the money that you have coming in. And that's why it's so important to keep a positive cash flow, because you want to make sure that you have more money coming in than you have going out. As long as you are able to continue to create assets that create a positive cash flow, you can never go broke, because in the midst of you losing certain things, you may lose those things. However, those liabilities that you lose will be temporary, because your assets will continue to produce income to sustain themselves. So eventually you will be able to produce enough positive cash flow off of a true asset to go back and repurchase any liabilities that you may lose in a downfall. So that's the one great thing about having positive cash flow and cash flowing assets, is you will never fully lose, because you'll always have some source of income. Now, one of the most important things to remember with this process is assets pay for liabilities. Liabilities do not pay for assets. Therefore, you have to start thinking from the mindset of an entrepreneur who is purchasing things that are going to bring them in income rather than things that are going to lose them income. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest fashion trends, then you need to make sure that you are making purchases that will go hand in hand with those things to pay them off, or you're using those items to build a lavish brand in which that brand will begin to pay for those items, rather through sponsorships, rather through brand deals, or just building your personal brand up and allowing it to make you money. The next thing is, when you have positive cash flow, you're able to report this income. And by reporting this income, yes, you will have to pay taxes. However, remember, you can always leverage write-offs, as well as the more positive cash flow that you have coming in, the more that you can leverage. You can go into purchasing real estate, as well as other larger transactions that will create more assets to in turn bring in more income. Now, another great thing about having positive cash flow is it allows you to pay your bills on time. When you constantly have a positive cash flow, you're able to at least make those minimum payments on time. And by doing so, you can avoid a lot of fees, you can avoid a lot of taxes, you can avoid a lot of other things that are going to allow you to in turn build and scale a lot faster. The next thing is, when you have a positive cash flow, it's going to allow you the ability to create an emergency fund. So like we were talking about with having positive cash flow, you can never go broke. With having positive cash flow, you can create an emergency fund out for 3, 6 months, a year, 5 years, and have that emergency fund there where if something was to happen, we go into another pandemic or recession or whatever it is, you've already proofed yourself of going through that struggle, because you have those assets there, whether physical or digital, or rather they're tangible or intangible assets that you can always go back and liquidate or pull equity out of, but you also have that emergency fund there sitting to the side that will allow you to hold on to your assets for longer before you have to make an informed decision on what you'd like to do. And last but not least, remember, having a positive cash flow allows you to increase your borrowing power. So we always talk about OPM and leveraging and making money off of other people's money. If you want to be able to make money off of other people's money, one thing that they want to know is that you can make money. So it's important to increase your cash flow so that you can report more income. And in turn, by being able to report more income, when you report that additional income, you're going to increase your borrowing power and be able to get higher limits and more available credit to leverage to buy more assets. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. Please make sure to stop back by. Make yourself at home here. You're a part of the family. We'll see you guys in the next one.